Welcome to Girl Talk. I'm Elizabeth Vargas.
I'm Christina Wright.
I'm Jody Silva.
And I'm David Yontef.
We have some special guests for you guys today. This is our first ever podcast in my new studio. I'm very proud of it. I'm very proud of my team. We're going to wing it today, but David Yontef from Behind the Velvet Rope is in the house today.
Thanks for having me. Nice meeting you guys.
Well, we figured you'd like spice things up with this housewife drama going on. We've got, what season are we on right now?
18.
18. And this is my first year ever watching it from start to finish.
Why did you decide to watch it this year?
Well, because my house is in it and Gina listed it, and I want to see her in all her glory, Casa de Vargas. And I watched the episodes and it looks fabulous. But I heard there was some drama behind the scenes. There's a bunch of crap going on. None of the girls like me, and Shannon's mad at me, and they're all saying Gina can't sell my house. So there's just drama everywhere. And I'm like, well, screw it. I'm just going to have David on and let's clarify a bunch of this crap and get into the tea.
Let's clarify it. Now, before we get into that, I feel like, a lot of people, your listeners, of course, know what you've been up to. But for the Behind the Velvet Rope listeners, like, what has been up with you? And the house is not sold yet, right?
Correct. We listed it for 2 months. And then now we're waiting for the season to open in November. So it's truly going to be listed. I remodeled the master bedroom because all of Gina's clients were like, the master bedroom looks like an old fart fogey. Remodeled it. We're going to do pictures all over again, which is fabulous, right?
I haven't seen it yet.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, Jody, you haven't even been there
I
yet.
haven't even been there.
Okay. So we're going to relist it. We're going to go from there. I think Gina deserves a chance. I don't care what people say. She's a ball buster and she's great at what she does.
She is good at what she does, right?
Hopefully.
You know what? Before we get into it, the problem I have with the housewives in general, it's like when they say, I forgot what it said, if it said Gina's client or Gina's friend, when it came to you and they were, it's like, are we supposed to forget that you were actually on the show?
I noticed that.
It's very weird.
How does Gina know her? Gina's like, well, I know her from around. I'm like, dude, I did a whole season with you guys.
She's a housewife. Like, we've all watched the show. Most people have watched every season.
Weird.
We just erased the fact that you were actually an Orange County housewife and now you're just Gina's friend.
Which is also odd because they normally like the organicness of the show.
Yeah.
So it's
well,
weird
they don't
that
like me
wouldn't-
because I think they pigeonholed me with Kelly Dodd right off the bat.
Oh.
So they didn't like me because I was her friend when I came on the show, even though I didn't know her very well. They made me her friend. And then we both got fired the same season. And she said their comment she said during her season. And then they fired me. And so then I was sort of like pigeonholed. And I think that that's why I haven't been really asked back because of all that drama. So I don't know.
I disagree.
Really? Why is that?
I don't think it has anything to do with Kelly Dodd. I mean, but I also, they brought you on, if they wanted you to film somehow, they did bring you on, but they also did ask you to leave, which looked very weird. And a lot of people were like, oh, she got dissed.
Yeah.
So,
Did I really?
I mean,
Oh,
it
I
kind
wasn't
of
paying
looks like that,
attention.
right?
I mean,
They're like, leave, bye.
yeah. I mean, you've got to merge. You've got to do your job, and sometimes you're not by enough drama or enough votes from the public eye.
Yeah.
Who knows? But they've been doing it for how many years?
18 seasons for Orange County.
Right.
Yeah.
So 18 years they've been doing it. So they've obviously got their ingredients down.
And I mean, listen, I don't know if it was really your fault. Like, you came, I think the COVID season of OC with, and then the season after, you and Dr. Jen were kind of like the back-to-back seasons where
Odd
I don't know if it was
seasons.
I don't know if it was really your fault. I'm not just saying that to kiss your ass because I'm sitting here. I feel they were two weird seasons, that COVID season.
Was
and
it the
season
production
after.
that picked the wrong people? Maybe I was just wrong for it in the first place.
You might have been wrong for it at the wrong time.
I also think they were trying, they kept trying to mix things up. And so they were trying little things, they brought you, then they're like, okay, this isn't working. Then they bought Jen and that didn't work, But I also truly feel like, because I know both of you guys, that you guys could have really shown more of your...
Should I have been more of a lesbian or what?
No. I always say, I'm like,
Elizabeth
like, should have gone drunk on camera, and she never did.
I mean, you might have kept your job if you were a lesbian.
I mean, maybe I should have just assumed the position like the whole time.
Why, before we get, I mean, what do you guys think of this season? And by the way, why does Shannon now hate you? You just said that, so
man.
Curious.
Well, that's a new thing.
I'm hoping she doesn't. My brother had mentioned something about a grocery shopping cart full of alcohol because she was seen at the grocery store next to my house. But he never said to Gina, he'd mentioned it to Gina when Gina was on my podcast. Oh, I saw Shannon. She had a cart full of alcohol. It was New Year's, but it wasn't for her. It was for everybody at this party. She wasn't drinking it. I never said it. My brother did. So I text her, not even thinking anything, like, hey, can you come on my podcast? She's like, at this time, that would be a negative. I've bettered myself. I'm getting help. I'm like, huh? Then I watched the first episode of this season and my brother's on there talking smack about about Shannon. So now I think she thinks I'm spreading this stuff where she's still an alcoholic. And I think she's sensitive to the fact that she got the DUI. Mm-hmm. And I was part of it, this alcohol grocery cart thing.
I mean, I do have some note cards that I pulled out here. I mean, I hate to go into behind the velvet rope mode here, but so just slow down for a second and back up. So your brother was talking shit about her on the first episode of your podcast or of the Housewives?
Housewives.
He was on Orange County Housewives,
the very first show this season.
Oh.
Yeah, they even showed a picture of him and they were like, well, Andrew saw Shannon with a big pile of alcohol in a grocery cart, which he did say that to Gina.
I don't remember.
I literally can't remember.
Oh, wow.
They showed a picture of Andrew and then basically Gina was talking about it. And she was like, well, Elizabeth
but Gina should never have brought that back up. She brought it up on camera, which pissed me off.
Right.
I think people need to leave Shannon alone. I think they're being really mean to her. Nobody knows if she's an alcoholic. I don't believe she is. I mean, she had a bad moment. Everybody does. There's so many people who get DUIs and make a wrong call or mistake while they're drinking, but it's not fair to keep like going after her the way they are this season. I think it's unfair. Totally.
I agree.
Yeah, I think being an alcoholic is its own problem. Having a DUI has nothing to do with being an alcoholic. Everybody pretty much will have one drink, and if they get in the car, that's technically they're over the limit. They don't go hand in hand. If you've got a DUI, it doesn't mean you're an alcoholic for sure. But it's hard when you're in the public eye because it's all over the news. Yeah. And then people start talking and then they start to reveal when she is drinking. It still doesn't mean you're an alcoholic. It's not dependent on alcohol. So I agree. I think they should leave her alone actually a lot when it comes to that topic. Everyone left Gina alone. It's the same thing.
Exactly.
It is the same thing. I still can't believe I don't remember this clip that aired during the first episode. And I didn't know it was your brother who I met through this whole podcast thing with you. But so that's what happened. I'm just going back to that for a minute. So that happened. And then you asked her to come on to this podcast.
Not even knowing anything was wrong because I get along with all the ladies now. Like I'm friends with every single one.
But she texted you back and said,
like literally no.
And what? Because your brother said this, and now it's on the show.
Yeah,
I'm just intrigued.
I'm going to read the text.
I would. Yeah. If you did want to read the text, I mean, I'm not going to argue with that. Are you going to argue with that?
No, I'm not arguing with it.
I mean, I was really sad when I got it, and it just said,
"Were you?" Really?
And I wrote her back, like, "Look at this."
Like how sad.
I wrote her back, housewife fashion, freaking out that I'm like, Andrew did not say that. I called Gina immediately. I'm like, "Did you say this?" It was just crap. Like, don't throw Andrew under the bus. My brother's like super nice. Look at that.
What was Andrew's point of making that comment?
But he didn't even say it on air.
He didn't
said
say
it to
be
Gina,
mean or
Gina
anything.
brought
He
it
just
on
said,
just matter of fact, I just happened to see Shannon in the grocery store.
Yeah. So
it got blown up.
So I wrote, "Hi Shannon, this is Elizabeth Vargas. I hope you're doing wonderfully. Congratulations on the launch of the new season this week. I would absolutely love to have you on Girl Talk, brought to you by Daily Logic." This is when I had the Daily Logic. "To discuss your health and wellness, how you're taking care of yourself, how you lost weight, and how you maintain your beautiful skin tone. Basically, how you keep up with the Joneses. We don't need to go into detail about housewife stuff. Just in general, we can keep it simple and light if you want. I'm filming the new Girl Talk podcast on the 15th, blah, 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 blah. Tell me when you're available. I would absolutely be honored to have you on Girl Talk." That's all I wrote. This is the response. It's a book.
You want me to read?
I have to tell you. Yeah, you read it. I'm done. I'm like so mad.
Read Shannon's response to us.
I have to tell you, Elizabeth, I'm very disappointed. I ran into your brother on New Year's Eve at the market when I was with my daughter and boyfriend to pay for the food and alcohol for their New Year's Eve party with their friends. Apparently, you chose to tell at least one classmate that your brother ran into me and I had an entire cart full of alcohol, insinuating that it was for me and it was used on the show. I am sorry, but I have zero interest in doing your podcast at this point. I have made incredible strides to become a healthier person, and the fact that you would somehow get involved in my business with no knowledge is very hurtful. I'm really very disappointed.
So then I read.
But prior to this, everything's fine.
You can read
There's
this.
And you didn't even say it.
I was like, I said, I don't even know. The response was just, I just wrote her like then I immediately wrote Gina.
And you didn't even say it. You said it, your brother said it to Gina, and Gina said it on the show, not your
exactly.
brother.
And Gina kind of embellished it.
What did you write to Gina?
So I was
Just
pissed.
curious.
Just in case you want to read that text as well.
So I just asked Gina and everybody if they want to go to Skibo Castle, to my castle. I'm like, let's have a ladies trip. Take everybody to Scotland, because Scotland's big right now. We'll go to the castle, we'll chill out, and then we'll go hang out some, go to Loch Ness Monster.
But if they can't go, I'm definitely available.
Yeah.
Okay, so here
we're
we go.
also available to go to this. I know they're on the show and we're not, but hello.
No, I would love for everybody to go. It's wonderful. So I wrote Gina. It's been a long time.
I'm like, we're nice too. We're special in our own ways. Okay.
Okay, so I wrote. I was so upset.
You're mad at Gina, yeah.
Because I was like, what did she just throw my...
Welcome to Housewives, Elizabeth. I know you did a whole season, but this is what it is.
But if it's just a comment, then things get taken out of proportion. So it's probably not your brother's fault or Gina's fault.
Okay. Hi, you read this one too.
Oh.
Do you want me to read it?
Just read it.
Okay. Hi, Gina. Quick question. ... Apparently, it was brought up that Andrew had mentioned Shannon had a cart full of alcohol on New Year's Eve. ... Did Andrew physically say that to you? ? I'm not with him right now, but I'm just curious because I can't imagine him saying that, but maybe he did. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of what was said about her being at the grocery store with alcohol. I can't imagine Andrew throwing her under the bus, but is that what he said to you? ? I was asking her to be on the podcast, and apparently she's really upset with me. And then she wrote, hey, he did. So it just keeps going. So then it's like she's arguing, saying,
"We got to finish it."
Okay,
we got it. We need to hear it.
This is it. I mean,
hey, he did. I found it interesting that they chose to include that because it was something I mentioned very casually to Emily. So then, of course, I had to talk to Emily. But thinking because you came in later in the season, they probably thought it was an opportunity to connect the dots. He told me the story about how he bumped into her at the market on New Year's Eve. I'm not even honestly sure. When anyone says that, you wonder. I'm not even honestly sure if he talked to her or not. So I didn't say anything like that, but that she had a shopping cart full of alcohol. So it was basically just like verbatim what he said to me with no elaborations. Then I wrote, it just goes back and forth.
Yeah.
Basically, no, my brother did not say that. Yes, he did.
So what did your brother say? How did he word it? Was it just a matter of fact? I just saw Shannon the grocery store.
So then I called Andrew. I'm like, Andrew, what the fuck? Because I want Shannon on my show. What did you say? He's like, I never said it was for her. I just said she had a cart full of alcohol. And he's like, I didn't say she's drinking it. She's an alcoholic. He didn't say anything like that.
It's like a game of telephone, isn't it?
I'm getting all pissed off right now.
But what's wrong with having a cart full of
sometimes
alcohol?
that's the effect that I have on people. But the thing
Thanks for bringing the shit up.
Well,
David, behind the velvet, what rope are you behind?
But the thing is, you guys could disagree, but like, even if your brother said this to Gina, she then brought it onto this national platform. No, I'm not coming for you, Gina, but like, it's a little different than if he said it to her off the show. He's not on the show, nor are you.
Right.
Well, she said it for a reason anyways. And the reason why they said it is because they're trying to make Shannon look like she has a drinking problem. And that's why it was said, and that's why it was used, and because it makes her look bad,
And I think we're all guilty of that. We're all guilty of saying something and seeing something and then just making little droplets like, oh, did you see Shannon here? Did you see this happen? And then you leave it for other people to run with. And we're all guilty of that. I think it's what women for sure definitely do. So maybe
maybe because Gina got a DUI, and I guess Shannon was mean.
Oh,
right?
Oh, when she first got
so
it.
I think there's a way she's being a little bit
I think she started the season wanting to kind of say, you came after me for my DUI, now I'm coming after you. I think they've moved past that.
Yeah.
Was there like a grumbling in Orange County? I mean, I spent my time between New York and LA, and they're like bigger cities, and I don't want to make, assumptions that Orange County is a little smaller. But when Shannon crashed her car into the house,
I went and saw it, by the way.
my street, by the way.
Oh, it was.
Really?
Yeah.
What's your question?
Well, yeah. So I mean, like, was there like a rippling? Like, did everyone know in town? Was there?
Oh,
It's on
yeah.
your street. Yeah.
It's a small town.
It's funny.
Yeah.
I had one of my friends text me the other day. They're like, "Oh my God, did you see Shannon crash her car or whatever?" They're like, "It looks like it's your street." And I said, "Oh, hold on, let me go look." And I literally went and saw the unit that she crashed into. It's at the corner behind the gas station. So I was like, "Oh yeah, it definitely happened over here."
Wow.
I feel bad for her because when Gina was caught, is no camera footage, but with Shannon, there happens to be footage, and then it just
Ring
social
cameras.
media, it got published everywhere. Everyone ran with it. So the poor woman made a mistake.
run into. I saw it. Because I lived right there too. She did run into the wall, and it did. I went and saw it, so it did happen.
Yeah, no, but yeah, it did. But
Yeah.
but like the poor woman there's footage of it. It's not just hearsay. It's not just
Yeah.
here's a picture of her, a mugshot. This is her actually doing something. So people love it. They love to repost things over and over again. So it just never goes down, does it?
Yeah, it was like really seeing the car. You don't
Yeah.
really see her though.
No.
I'm just shocked because I have many situations like this text that you've exchanged with Gina and, I mean, I could go down the list from every franchise. Yeah, people get mad at me all the time. Like, it shocks me that these housewives care that much. Like, people say shit about everyone, but people say shit about me all day. Like, who cares? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just shocking that Shannon's that upset that you're holding up like 12 pages of a text there.
Yeah.
It wasn't
That's
that
because,
bad.
I truly get along with these women and I respect them. After my season, they had just fired me. They gutted me out. I bled from the vagina. And then they were like, "Hey, you're fired." So the ladies had reached out to me and Shannon was wonderful and said, "Hey, are you okay?" Because they really, they exposed a lot on my season. And I was just not knowing how to handle just getting my info and then just discarding me like a piece of trash. And I realize it's analytics and I got the business side of it, but I was very disappointed. And so they reached out and I got to know all the ladies afterwards. We hang out in the desert. They go to my desert house, Gina stayed they all use with their families, my estates, which is great because I love to be able to share it with them. We ended up talking sincerely to each other. We have dinners together. We go out. So it's not like we're not friends. We all hang out still. But that's why I was so emotional because I guess I just don't know the housewife thing because I was truly emotional about it because I truly care for Shannon and all the ladies because being on the Housewives, that's a serious, they've got to be baller women. You can't just be a normal twit from Orange County and be like, "I want to be a housewife." You got to have a backbone, brains, mental state of mind. Of course they're drinking. I started drinking.
You never did.
I know. I did like a little bit. I faked it. I was drinking water the whole time. But
You don't drink?
No,
not
she
barely.
does.
But on occasion, but not on
Where
the show.
have I been?
Okay,
thought
she
you
drank.
drank.
She just never really got drunk on the show
okay.
because that would have been a hoot.
That's willpower.
Woo! Because I'm not used to drinking on the job. And I realized it's not I just didn't understand the whole housewife thing. I was so thrilled to be on it. So when I got to know the ladies afterwards, I was disappointed. The reason this text message is so long and the reason I called Andrew immediately and the reason I called Gina is because I believe, we know each other. I'm one of those housewives now. I'm officially in the family of housewives. Regardless if they dismiss me, I'm still there forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the book, Housewife. Remember that book they wrote in COVID?
Yeah.
I made it in the book. So I am officially a housewife and there's no getting out of it.
What's your tagline? I forgot.
I forgot to.
I don't know. It's like,
Perfect.
I got
That's
a
a
rich
good
guy.
one.
I made my money giving blowjobs. I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
right.
just kidding.
No, that was
Yeah, I don't think that
I'm
was
just
it.
kidding. It was,
Try again.
no, I'm joking. It was, I don't know. I have to watch it again.
What-
I've never watched my show
I have a question though.
fully.
Do you feel like these girls sometimes use you? Because I feel like you offer a lot to them and I feel like they take full advantage of your homes and stuff. And then they don't really like, I feel like they don't reciprocate or treat you like a friend, you know, like they're just kind of there to take the freebies and, you know, that's it.
Yeah. But most people are in my life.
That's not true. But I think.
No, I mean, most people that need stuff. Not you or anybody.
To be honest,
my friends.
I actually have a story about Elizabeth. I had a girlfriend whose daughter was dying of cancer. And I've only met Elizabeth maybe twice. This was years back. And she was dying of cancer and she was literally given weeks to live. And they tried to get a house in at the beach because her daughter wanted to go to the beach for the last time and they couldn't find anything. It was like a crazy weekend. I've forgotten what it was. It was a crazy holiday weekend and they couldn't find anything for love or money. They couldn't find it. And I said, you know what? I actually know a friend of a friend. 'Cause at the time you were a friend of a friend. Mm-hmm. Let me just reach out to Elizabeth. And I said, listen, I know you got that house in Newport. They're willing to pay, and she was like, you know what? I'm supposed to be there with my family. But of course, I would take my family now to the desert. So she did. She gave up her house for this friend whose daughter was dying, took her whole family and put them in, so changed her whole plans for this.
It made me cry. It was so great.
So for me, and this wasn't taken I was like, let me see how I can help. And I reached out and you said, of course, let me just rearrange my plans. It's no big deal. That's a big deal. Yeah. So I think people can take advantage of not only your assets, but also your kind heart. So I think that's another thing that people do, housewives or not.
And that's another thing, Christina, I built a life after divorce to be able to share with people that I love or for charity. I really believe in giving back. And I think that, there's people that are going to take advantage of that. And I really kind of let them get out. But for the most part, if I have a beach house that I make $3,900 a day renting, if it's available and somebody is dying, of course I'm going to be like, okay, the assets are there for my family, my friends. I don't need 4 houses. I don't need all this crap. I do it because it's short-term rentals, long-term rentals, residual income. They pay for themselves and I can acquire assets. I like to sell amazing vodka, take that money and invest it in real estate. Well, the real estate's just going to sit there. The toilets need to be flushed.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be lived in. So Emily went out with her whole family to the desert. Shannon and her twin daughters stayed out there for their birthdays. I don't mind it because there's certain people that I know to stay away from, but for the most part, it's used for good. It's not.
I'll be waiting for my weekend away.
Yeah.
When should we go?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, to your point, I just think the housewives, not Orange County, just from someone that does this professionally and knows them all. Yeah, I do think they use 98% of the time. So we just don't want you to get used.
Well,
I mean, it sounds like they're all
used by them yet. So
okay.
And even the production, I didn't feel used from because I learned so much. I mean, look at where we're at now. This would never have happened if I wasn't on the Housewives.
But I think that, I think it's the way it was done. So they come to your house, they start filming and they're like, okay, bye. So that's how.
It took me like 6 months to get over
people
that.
viewing. For anyways, anybody who I've talked to, a lot of people made that same comment. So anyways, I'm just saying you don't have to go above and beyond for them. That's it.
I literally didn't even think this episode was going to be about me. Nice. I thought we were going to talk about other housewives. So
it
was great. I forgot I was a housewife. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm one of those women.
Well, I thought we were too, but then you bring up this text from Shannon. But I do have now something to say about that. So wait, we saw your house on the show, which look, it's a great advertisement for selling the house, but you were there, they were there. It's the trip and what they said, goodbye, Elizabeth.
I know. It was kind of, they kept me all out. I even had scenes where I was talking with Gina. We went around the house. You were there. Yeah, I filmed for a while and then they cut it all out.
But I think he's asking, did they just tell you okay, you got to go now?
No, we planned it in advance.
So you were, when Shannon's sitting there and crying, this scene we saw where she's so touched that Heather's supporting her and Gina and she's never felt like you were around when all this was filmed?
No, I had left. So the deal was I was going to introduce them to the house and then I was going to act like I had a date in Orange County, which I kind of did, and then leave because they were figuring out how to use the house and not have me in it. It was the most awkward thing ever. So I signed a release. So we filmed with Gina talking about the house. We did scenes to make sense why Gina's my realtor. Right. They cut all of it out. And I don't know why. They literally just cut it all out. But the house showed really well. So I'm still grateful for having a little bit of show and tell because I rent that house for $10,000 a day. So it's not like I'm not getting money.
Yeah, and it's hard. Production is hard. Like you can't. It's something to do with the women or the conversation or you. If production don't want it in, they don't want it in.
Yeah, and I didn't.
Yeah. No, I mean, and I think
I was skinny too.
You're skinny right now.
Good.
You're skinny.
I was like, damn, show my legs, my little chicken legs.
No, I told her, I was like, why would you appear on national TV looking a mess?
She said I looked disheveled, but I
her hair was a mess. Her outfit was like her regular uniform that she usually trots around in. And I was like, no.
Just being you.
I mean, I
didn't even have a chance to do my nails. I was going to glue them on earlier, and I got my eyelashes done for you. I didn't have a chance to do my hair last night. There's no blow person. Didn't get my blow job.
A blowout.
Anyway, we're here.
I said, go to a dry bar.
I think also that maybe just because the audience knows you, like we would have had to explain, but it is your house. No, I mean, it's not shocking to me.
Was it that odd?
No, it's not shocking that they cut you out. Like, it's what I would expect, not against you, just against, like, if you're not part of that core group, they don't care who you are.
Okay, so you have questions for us. Let's talk about something
Elizabeth's
else.
like, please don't talk about me anymore. Well, no, I mean, I think Shannon, like, is having
I'm a loser. I got fired and they're just using me for my houses. Fine.
I'm terrible on camera.
Sorry. I'm looking for a man in finance.
Start drinking.
6'5".
Right, like
fucking
6'5".
blue eyes. I don't care.
No, it's all good. Okay. We didn't mean to, but like Shannon's having a redemption season, right? Like we're all feeling for her. I wasn't a huge. She looks great.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't a huge Shannon fan before this season, but I'm kind of am now, right? Like we think she's doing a good this season.
Yeah, she's doing good.
Yeah. Who's that lady that's banging her ex? That's on the new show. Oh, Alexis. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What do you
that's
think
an interesting one
about that? Do you guys know Alexis from town?
Yeah, I do.
You know her?
I mean, I've met her.
Is she a housewife? Past housewife?
She was, yeah. But,
so she's been on the show before.
Yeah, but she was married when she was on the show with Jim.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I met her. Actually, I think the night she met.
Do we like her? Do we not like her?
So we were at the house, the restaurant. Yeah. And then so she was there with a group of her friends. And basically like these guys like start coming over and talking to us, whatever. And then they were like, oh, we said we were going to go to A. And they're like, oh, we're all going to go to A. And then I called an Uber. We get outside. They all walked out before us. So when we got outside, I opened my Uber and they were all in my Uber. I was like, yeah, I'm like, this is my Uber. And they're like, oh, like, we're like, whoops. I'm like, all right. They're like, oh, do you guys mind if we ride? I'm like, sure. So then we all get to A. And then I ran into her 2 days later. Like, because once we got to A, we all did our own thing. But anyways, when we ran into her 2 days later, I was at Wild Goose. And then she knew my friend, Michelle, and we were all in the bathroom. And then she was like, oh, Christina, Alexis. I was like, oh, I just met you the other night. She was like, oh my God, I think I dropped my diamond ring in your Uber. And
insurance claim?
No, I don't know. But she had just broken up with her fiance. And so she was wearing the ring out. And then her friends told her, put it away because you're single. Why are you wearing it? And so she was all worried about her ring being gone and that it might have dropped in my Uber. But I was like, why would anybody put away a 7-carat ring while they're out drinking?
Insurance claim. That's why.
I
found them on golf courses. Women fake it like they actually lose their real diamond. I found one on a golf course. She's like, why did you find that? I'm like,
you're welcome.
No, she wanted an insurance claim. So did she get insurance for it?
I have no idea. I don't know her. That was like the only night I met her. And then I saw her about a week ago.
But she's the one that's going off on Shannon O's for the facelift. So she's a money person. She's maybe a little trying to figure out how to get money. I
mean, that whole thing is annoying. Okay. Too. Yeah, she did, but
she did okay.
They need to let that whole thing go. I mean, that's so stupid. If you
can't let it go. She's on the show dissing Shannon, and
I'm saying they need to let it go. Like, I think it's stupid.
John
if he gave her money for a facelift, okay, like that's a gift. I'm sorry.
He benefited from it. She was beautiful. She looks beautiful.
She does look really good. I mean, she's also offered to pay it back. So Emily has come forward and said that she thinks, I mean, look, a lot of people think John is just a fame whore and wants to be on the show.
He's got to be. Come on.
His eyes look like he's literally been drinking under a bridge somewhere. Why? His eyes are like he needs to get an eye job.
They're beady.
You can't even see it.
Well, there's lots of good doctors here, right?
Surgery.
Yeah.
Best surgery I had. Yeah.
You look great.
Yeah, best surgery I had.
That's why you look so refreshed.
Yeah.
They just like raised your
I had
eyes.
mine
No,
done too.
they cut my lid and like took like 4 millimeters
Who
off.
did it?
And then Dr. Kyle Song.
Okay, nice.
Amazing. I was in and out in 45 minutes and I didn't even bruise.
Yeah,
No,
it's amazing. I had it done too. I
love it.
Keep all the names of the doctors always. The good ones, the bad ones, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So what do you think? I mean, production has said that Alexis would be on the show regardless of this ties because, you know, she's known like Heather Dubrow throughout the years. They became friends because of their children.
How long was
Just telling you.
How
what
long
they
was
said.
she on the show before?
2 seasons?
2
or 3?
seasons?
Yeah, like I would have said
maybe
3 or
3.
4.
Yeah.
Oh, so she
I
was-
think
I'm
it's
just
4
guessing.
actually, yeah.
Okay.
But she's been gone for a while.
Yeah.
What season was she? I'm sorry.
Like
Yeah. The
Are we like
and
the
then
worst
did you see
housewife
she-
people or what? We're like, we don't know the taglines. We don't know what
I mean, we
season we're
can't
on.
remember.
At least you
I
don't do
can't
it for a
remember.
living. I mean, I is supposed to know, but I don't know the details.
Did you see that she was on Below Deck?
Yes.
the
Who
weirdest-
was?
she was on when
Alexis?
Kelly was
yeah,
on.
Alexis went on Below Deck.
She's
She
got a
did.
good face. I mean, she looks
does.
good on
And
camera.
she's kind of bubbly. She's cute. She's
yeah,
cutesy.
I mean,
she
in a
is.
weird way, I like her, but
How do you feel?
Well, and I actually have a story where I don't know her, but I did have a mutual friend in common with her. I slept at her house in 2020.
I was like, this is gonna be fun. Whoa.
No, we did not sleep together.
we can't do the Beverly Hills. What Andy Cohen was supposedly was asking for a threesome. Brandy, is that her name? Who's the one suing him?
Brandy.
She's
So let's
disgusting.
not have
I'm
another
sorry.
Brandy.
Yeah.
Let's not have a Brandy. No, but she, for a long time, would always say, like, I don't want to be back on the show. My life is great. I don't want drama. They all say that, right?
They
Until
all say
get
that.
The call. I mean, they've apparently been looking. They have been looking at her throughout the years to kind of come back. But this certainly, you think it's all just.
I
because
think
of
it's all
Shannon
because
and
of, listen, so I have my own opinions about this.
Tell us.
I really feel like John likes to be on TV, and I agree with
Mhm.
everything that Shannon has said about him in that sense. And so I had another situation with him, and basically I was out. This is like when the season wrapped up, the one before when like him and Shannon broke up, but it wasn't out yet that they were broken up. And so I was at this bar with my husband, and so we know him because he's our neighbor. And so basically he was there with another girl, and I was definitely a little tipsy, and I was sitting in the corner, and I took a picture of them and I was sending it to Kelly.
Kelly Dodd.
Yes, I was sending it I was like, ooh, look who just broke up and he's out with another girl. And so he saw me taking the picture, and he came over to me to basically let me know that he's not cheating on Shannon, that they've broken up. And like they had I think they had finished filming like in October. So this was in December. And I was like, no worries. I'm like, you do you. I don't care. I was like, good for you, whatever. I'm like, even if you're on a date, he's like, no, it's not a date, whatever. So then Kelly and Rick posted it on their YouTube channel. And basically, like, and they mentioned, obviously he knew the picture came from me. So then I ran into him
Such a
3
shit
weeks
starter,
later.
Christina.
I don't care what you do. I'm just going to take a picture of this for a minute, but I really don't care.
This is almost like to see Shannon in the grocery store with the alcohol.
Exactly. I'm like, huh?
And I love that he came over just to be like, but
Wait.
didn't ask to like delete it from your phone.
No, he didn't, he didn't say anything like about me taking the picture. But then I ran into him 3 weeks later, and I was with a bunch of my friends, and we were back at this bar. So this bar is like a pit, it's a little hole in the wall. Okay. So we go there after we've been out to 2 other places.
Yeah.
And so he's there with a few friends, and then he comes over to me and he's like, his friend first comes over to me, some older guy, and he's like, hey, by the way, I know you're the one who sent my friend's picture. And I was like, and who are you? And I don't even know why you're talking to me. I said, please step away from me. And he was like, you need to go apologize to my friend. I was like, you need to shut up. I'm like, seriously.
This is why I love her for this
Yeah.
show.
So
You're
but
like,
anyway,
who are
so
you?
I
Okay.
did go over and say sorry for sending the picture out. I said I was drunk and I was being funny in the moment, and I didn't mean to start shit. And he was like, yo, well, they sent the picture out, and it was like all over blogs. I was like, sorry. But that's what
But you
happened.
know what?
But anyways, I think he likes it.
Yeah, if you're in the
He likes
public eye,
limelight.
you're going to get people taking pictures of you. It is what it comes with a contract.
But what's
So
his
he's-
story? Does anybody even know?
Actually, what does he even do?
What is he?
I don't know what
he's
he
not
does.
in finance, is he?
No.
And he's not 6'5".
Well, he can't be in finance.
He's not 6'5".
I think I want to say when he first came on the show, there was something about him maybe being a detective, but he's definitely not a detective.
What?
I don't know. I
He's
mean,
not
I
a very
have
good
no
one.
idea.
No, he's
Well, you also have to know if you send, I mean, did you know what you were doing? I'm not coming for you, but like if you send a picture to Kelly Dodd,
You know
we
he's
all know
shit.
where it's going to end up.
Okay,
this is
of
Kelly
course,
Dodd.
I was stirring the pot and starting shit.
Oh, showing
yes.
the part. Okay.
But I was also, like I said, I was pretty drunk at that point when I did it. I was being funny.
How do you know Kelly?
How do you know Kelly?
Yeah.
Because she loves
And I'm
Kelly.
sorry. I apologize.
Okay, so I met Kelly. Yeah, Kelly and I
She's
are
a
good
Kelly
friends,
fan.
but
she's going to have a lot to say to you after today
no.
when you appear with me.
I mean,
By the way, these
oh.
Kelly does not get along with David at all.
She hates
okay.
me. And
But-
by the way, can I just say, not to interrupt you, it's the same thing as these texts. So I'm behind the velvet rope, which everyone's going to listen to this. I interview housewives.
Yeah.
People come on. I ask them questions. I asked you questions when
Yes.
you're on. I just ask the questions.
Yep.
It's not, when people come on from Orange County, most people don't have anything good to say about Kelly Dodd. I just sit there. I ask the next question. I'm not saying it, but when people say bad things about her, she goes psychotic on me, which I'm not afraid of her. Megan King is the one that put the nail in my coffin when Kelly Dodd had some words for me. And like, I'm not the one to have words for her. I had some words back to her. So I really don't dislike her other than the fact that
But I dislike her.
Well, she talks about how much she hates me and all the things
Right.
that are wrong with me. So I mean, I'm not
You
like
should just
so,
be like, you're welcome, Kelly.
yeah. But I'm just curious.
Yeah,
So
I think Kelly's easy to love because
Yeah.
she's fun, she's
Yeah.
bubbly, she's outgoing.
I like her.
She's got
in
a
a
great
weird way.
personality, and she what you see is what you get. But then
Yeah.
that's the same reason why it's easy to be like, Jesus, I can't trust her because it's not a trust thing. It's things do get put out because that's what she is about. She's got a podcast. She's gonna spread it. So
Yeah.
it is like that, isn't it?
But I get sent so much. Like if I hear something, I will talk about it on the air. But when I get sent things, like if you sent me something, like I get
She
sent
sends
things.
you nastygrams, right?
She sends me nastygrams, but I get sent pictures and stuff
got
of like,
them?
Have you
don't
got
send
one?
this-
Let's
Yeah.
read one.
I blocked her.
Because you're a lawyer. Slanders, if it's real, it's not, you can't, get sued for.
Yeah. No, I have them somewhere. I blocked her on all Instagram, but she goes on tirades when it's always like, no one listens to your podcast. Mind you, it's much higher rated than her podcast. I just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
Numbers don't lie. Let me just tell you. No one listens to your podcast. You're a loser. I'm more famous than you. I mean, she goes just psychotic.
She goes high school on you?
High
Like, when-
school. High school. And then which I mean, just because I'm gay, she assumes I'm like, have whatever. But she then goes on a huge anti-trans rant to me.
She did?
Which she's like, you and fucking Dubrow, and it's like, what does this have to do with me being gay? And she's like, she goes into like children and really,
Is
this
she
is all-
anti-trans?
I believe so, yes.
Oh, I don't think so.
I don't know.
No.
This is her. Like,
Really? I mean, listen, I
maybe
think,
not, but in this rant she was. And I'm like,
I
I've
think-
never said anything about
Yeah.
trans. She's like, you and Dubrow are so funny. This is the problem with our
Dubrow
kids.
supports that whole community
Well, she's-
beautifully.
Yes. But
Well-
she wasn't, I think that's why she's maybe.
I
anti.
think Kelly, listen,
Maybe she doesn't like you because you're gay.
no, she has
No.
a lot of, don't say that because that's not
didn't
even
say
true
that.
because she has a lot of gay
I'm just saying
friends
she's going
and
on
she
an
has
anti-trans
nothing
rant.
against, I mean, I don't know anything about that, but the one thing I'll say about Kelly is that she's been nothing but kind to me. And so I think it's one of those things like we've never had any issues with each other. She loves me. I love her. And, we have like mutual friends. And then, so she's always been kind to me. And I feel like it's one of those things. Yes, she can get really upset and hate somebody if she is
That's her
upset with
job.
them, but like
Yeah.
that's just her personality, but if you give her like nothing, and I'm not saying you've given her
Yeah.
anything to be upset about, but she can be easily pushed and, that's just who she is. So like, I've never had any issues with her. Like you guys have your issues now, but I've told
actually
you.
I've never had issues with Kelly.
Yeah.
I think I've got, me and Kelly are somewhat similar in the sense of when you get backed into a corner and your feelings are hurt, you just attack. And it doesn't matter what it is about you, you'll find something that we feel that you don't like about yourself. And it's an
Correct.
attack moment. So whether you're gay, whether you're trans, whether you're black, whether you're white,
But that's
whether you
so high school.
It is, but it is. But
No, but
when
that is
you
what
do
she
that
does.
too. I've seen you do
I
it
don't
with
think
her.
she's anti something. She
Because I
just
stoop
gets
to her level,
backed into
that's
a
why.
corner. She goes in, and that's it. She
Yeah.
just attacks.
And believe it or not, I really, I mean, I now come back at her because I'm like, I don't care, but
She threatened me with a lawsuit on the podcast. She's like, if you mention anything.
because of me.
Yeah,
It was
something
the
like,
episode that I was here.
like she
I
wrote
don't know
me,
what
what
we
was her
said.
last text to me?
I don't know
I mean,
what
she
we
was
said.
great for TV.
But see,
She was.
that's
She
an
was.
example where she sent me that,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I could have talked about that on my podcast,
I
like
deleted
Kelly
it.
did. Like
That's
I
what it
don't,
was.
I don't
Okay.
put things out. But no, she's really mad at me when like someone comes on, like Dubrow
Sure,
or
if you
Meghan
talk about
King.
me on your podcast, you better be prepared to get sued. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly.
We're not saying anything bad.
But
Okay, y'all are
What
bad.
did you
Let's
sign
talk
me
about
up
somebody
for?
else.
but I
That was May
really,
8th. That was a long time ago.
other than the fact that she's like, his voice is this, like she goes off on me, and I'm like, I didn't say it. Meghan King did. Why don't you call her?
But
I really don't. I'd rather someone ask me this.
okay, we gave her
recently.
enough airtime.
No,
Let's-
but we're gonna move on.
Let's end
Yeah.
it by saying they should have her back on the show because
Agreed.
Kelly, you are an uber bitch, and it's amazing. You
She
talk
was
shit
great
about people
TV.
everywhere.
She was
you were
amazing
great TV.
housewife.
No matter how much we don't get along right now, they need you back on Bravo. Andy, get her back on Bravo because she is great TV, and right now we need some like spice it up.
I don't agree with that, but the one thing I
think
want to
she's
say
great.
is I would rather spend a weekend with her than the rat that is known as the Tam and Tamra.
Who's the
I think
Tam?
Kelly and
Oh,
Tamra.
the Tam.
Oh,
I really, I
the
don't hate.
rat?
Yeah, they call her Tamrat. I don't, you know,
Tamrat.
you've heard
I haven't
this.
heard
Yes,
Tam
I haven't
rat.
heard that.
They call her Tamrat.
Well, look at what
I
she's
didn't
been
make
doing
this
to
up.
Shannon this season. I mean, she's
yeah.
really been like, I actually feel like she's been so, I've only met Tamara actually like twice. Like the first time was in New York at BravoCon, and the second time was at Jen Armstrong's house, like right outside. But it was when I met her at BravoCon, she was very nice. But again, I agree with you. Like when she gets really nasty on the show, like it's like, watch out. And she does not let it go. Like it's like, I feel like at least Kelly was like warmer. Like, you know, like she would let things go. If there was an apology and they like said sorry, it was like done. But like the way Tamara has been treating Shannon this season so far,
Oh, it
like
is pretty
every
horrific.
episode,
Yeah.
I think it's a little too much. Like I can honestly say that when Kelly was having fights with people, like it felt very real. You know, like
I mean, it was
These
over.
fights are real. They
Yeah.
don't script
yeah,
this
but
stuff.
I feel like Tamara is going above and beyond to kind of like make Shannon look bad this season.
Do you think that's to get more airtime? Do you think it's to secure her spot back? If you create
Yeah,
more
to be
drama,
the ultimate bitch. Yeah.
yeah.
Or do you think it's producers that are like, no one else is going to do
Oh.
it? This is your role, Tamra.
But I think she
Maybe.
likes having that
Maybe.
role.
Yeah, because I
Yeah.
do think she came with strings attached when they rehired her.
No,
I
I have to
agree.
tell
Yeah.
you that as much as people think that show is scripted, I was on that show and I lived it, and it is not. Those women are really, truly who they are.
Well, we know it's not scripted, but we know also that
What I mean is,
producers put you
Tamara's
guys-
truly just that kind of a bitch. Probably,
I do think
I
you're
don't think
provoked.
so.
you are provoked.
I think that there's people in your ear telling you certain things that have been said.
Yeah, I guess maybe that's
and then you film for, I mean, how long do you girls film for?
all
So
freaking
you're
day.
filming for 8 hours
you're
and
tired.
you get 3 minutes, and in 8 hours you're
Yeah.
alcohol and you're tired. So
Yeah.
it's not scripted, but you're exhausted and you're provoked.
Yeah.
And then it happens.
And they do say, like, I have filmed for New Jersey, like, you know, same thing. Like, you're going to be cut out because you're not, but like, I've been there where they'll be like, we're not going home. Like, someone better do something.
Yeah.
Like, I've
Yeah.
been in the rooms where they're
Yeah.
like, it's 18 out. And then you're like, well, I'll do it because I'm fucking exhausted and I want to go home now.
I actually had a friend that filmed on The Bachelor years ago, like years and years ago. And he got the rose. So he was in the car and he was like, finally, I'm going home. And they would not take him to the airport until he had a physical meltdown in the car.
Yeah.
Oh
And they
my
kept going
God.
round in circles.
Well,
Right.
we
Like,
were
'cause
exhausted.
Your dog
they
just
wanted-
died.
yeah.
Right.
They wanted that emotion because he was like, I'm just glad to get out of there. Like, no, that's not good for TV.
Right.
But did you audition for the Housewives?
No.
You didn't. But you did. Yeah. See, they should need to have your bitch ass.
I mean,
on there.
both of you could be great.
I'm
for
too
the
Great
Housewives.
crazy.
on the Housewives.
I'm way too crazy.
Crazy's good.
Uh-uh.
we need crazy.
Not when I'm a mother. I say the most,
Oh.
I'm a milder version of Kelly.
Well, see, they need something like that. Like right now, this whole Alexis thing is great, but they need something different. Like a woman
Yeah.
with a personality. Like
I do think Orange County doesn't really produce
I think it needs a
substance.
revamp.
I have a weird feeling that everybody is going to come back. That's my prediction.
They have to. There's no one else.
Well,
I mean,
probably
there's
not
no one
coming
else.
back.
There's
Oh,
plenty
there
of
you go.
Everyone that's currently
Everyone
on.
Elizabeth.
I'm not sure
I'm
if
going
you
to start an
were.
only cans.
Well, I personally think that Emily is amazing and she definitely deserves to come back.
You are friends with Emily in the real world. I have to say, I've apologized on my podcast. I will apologize again here. I feel I owe Emily and Gina an apology because they have now been on for 6 seasons, which other than Tamara,
Yep.
Dubrow, Vicky,
Gretchen.
and but there's only 4. Like they are the longest
They're the
running.
OGs now.
But they're good. They're both
Yeah.
good.
I'm
and they
going to
also
apologize.
have a real relationship. And
Emily looks phenomenal.
she's great. Her marriage is blooming. Her kids are fantastic.
Yeah.
She looks great.
Yeah.
She's badass.
Yeah, she's pretty badass. And
Yeah.
she's thick. You know, women, when we want to see women that are healthy, like she's thick
You
and
know
she's
what?
in shape
She
and she's
trains
smart and she's a
every
lawyer.
single day. She does. When
Yeah.
we go for lunch with her, she has
Yeah.
a piece of salmon with
Who's her trainer?
Paulina.
Well, there you go. If you're already friends with her, maybe, eventually this is the right move for you.
Yeah.
God, I would say I'll be cancelled.
No.
No.
would.
You know what? I don't
Yeah.
think the cancel culture even exists anymore. Like they keep
Sure
telling me
does.
you're going to get
Yeah.
canceled, and I'm
I
like,
don't-
am I going to cancel myself?
Maybe it's not as
Who's going
bad.
to cancel me?
No,
Fuck
I
you.
have to say, I have, in a way, tried to cancel myself. It doesn't work. I
No,
feel
it
the
doesn't work
more,
anymore.
I'm trying to
Like,
cancel myself.
Look what's going on with Blake Lively. Like, she'll be fine. I
Yeah.
mean, there's like a witch hunt for
Yeah.
her, and like
Hey,
life will go on.
Quick backup
Yeah.
thing. Speaking of getting canceled, what's the blonde pretty mess? Her husband just got convicted.
Yeah. Erica
Who?
Jane.
Of his
fine.
bad.
That's been,
Girardi.
what, 3-4 years?
Yeah. It's like, let the guy live. And
She
he's
didn't
like
get
on his
canceled
last
because her
leg.
husband. She's still on the show. Like
But she's brilliant
Because
for the
I
show.
I don't believe that she, listen, you
I
know,
don't
how
think she
many
knew
women
either.
are married and their husbands do scandalous stuff and I don't think she had anything to do with what decisions he was making. I think it was crazy that people were trying to accuse her and pin her down for stuff that he was illegally doing in his law firm or whatever.
They're
You know, I
buying
mean,
her
that wasn't
jewelry
it.
because she's like this beautiful.
Of course he was buying
No,
her
but what
jewelry.
I mean
he's
is, she
been
didn't
buying
know
her
where the money
jewelry.
was coming
Yeah.
from. Why would you ask?
I mean, hello, if my husband was buying me something and he came and bought me a diamond ring tomorrow, I'm not going to ask him how he paid for it.
Right.
And he's clearly
I'm
successful.
gonna be like,
He's
thank you.
always successful. So why would you question
Of course.
how
That's-
successful?
That's
You
what
know,
I've
it's not
always
all of a
said.
sudden he was a rat and now he's buying jewelry.
I
He
love
was
her.
always successful. Yeah, she's brilliant.
That's
she didn't
what
get
I've
canceled.
said.
So I mean, there's no cancel culture really
no,
anymore.
but she wasn't
I
the
agree
one
with you.
doing or saying things. Actually, what's that other one on Atlanta? The
Nene?
Nene got canceled.
Oh, Kenya.
Wait, she
Kenya
got
Moore is
canceled?
canceled.
Nene, yes.
is, look, I think once you sue, I mean,
Yeah.
she sued. Like, I think
Yeah.
she'll never be back on the network.
right.
Carolyn Manzo will never be back on the network. She's suing now because
she is?
the whole
Oh, I didn't-
Brandy thing.
And there was
They're
also
trying to
there was
work it
also a
out.
housewife that ended up in jail. Correct? Her husband went to jail.
Jen Shaw?
No, not
No,
I
Teresa?
forgot about Teresa.
Yeah, but that was because
jail
of,
is okay.
Yeah.
They
Jail-
took it-
jail's okay.
Yeah.
You're allowed to go to jail and come back. You just-
Suing the
like a
network is, I
monopoly.
think, the only
Okay,
thing
so
that
that's
gets you
it.
canceled.
But people are you can't sue. Those contracts are ironclad.
Yeah, except though, like with Caroline Manzo, she's like alleging that Brandy like tried to stick her hand down her pants. So she's like, I think if it's like criminal, you can sue.
Wait, what?
What? What happened?
There was a
Wait,
girl.
Tell me
you don't
this.
know about this?
We still have
No.
time. We still have some
Wow.
time.
There was the Real Housewives Girls Trip. I don't know if you ever watched that thing. There was one that we'll never see. This never aired. It was a whole season. Brandy was on there. So was Caroline Manzo and Caroline. And I'm really giving you the overview. So just there's a lot of facts. But she basically claimed that Brandy followed her into the bathroom and was like hitting on her and like and Caroline's married and tried to stick her hand down her pants.
very
And basically
conservative.
Caroline said, stop, please. And the producers heard this because the mics and were like, okay, let's go deal with that soon. And then they went, and then it gets complicated, like in
Yeah.
the pickup interviews, because she said, like, this brings up trauma from when I was young and I was molested. And then,
Oh,
like,
then I
months
should be able to
later-
sue everybody. Oh, they brought him a whole.
Well,
I mean, I won't. But
I mean, I think she's going to get money, personally.
really,
Yeah,
Well, I
think
mean,
so.
listen, I actually
It's
don't.
just me, my
I
opinion.
think Caroline Manzo is a very conservative lady. She's not like one who that's not her. she doesn't want any woman giving her attention. That's just not who she is. And I think Brandy Granville is actually gross. And what she's doing with Bravo and like Andy and stuff, it's like, girl, like you just need attention. You're starving for it. And you should just sit down and like disappear forever. Honestly, like that's how I feel about it.
She's canceled.
How do you really feel, Christina?
She is. She needs to be canceled.
She's canceled.
She should have been canceled a long time ago, to be honest.
I think when
wasn't
you go
she in LA and then came to the OC franchise?
No, that was Taylor Armstrong.
Oh, that's Taylor. Damn it. Yeah. Kind of look the same.
No.
So it's crazy. Like all these stories of lawsuits. My ex-husband, when I was on doing the finale, I kept getting text messages saying, "You better shut the fuck up," because my lawyer's like, there's a cease and desist. So they might not be having me back because my ex-husband threatened to sue the network 100%. If he is brought up.
Yeah, if you feel
I'm pretty sure if that's the case. Because my ex-husband threatened a cease and desist for me being on the show, and Bronwyn was feeding. Apparently, allegedly, Bronwyn was feeding. Bronwyn had met my ex-husband's mistress at the time and was feeding the mistress information about what I was saying on set because I couldn't figure out who was saying it. My lawyers were sending me letters about cease and desist stuff I was saying on camera. I found out that Bronwyn was friends with her, trying to get skinny on me, and then being friends with my ex-husband. And then my ex-husband's not a drama. He wasn't in it. It was for sure his mistress. So it was like, or whatever, girlfriend at the time, allegedly mistress, whatever the heck she was.
What's the difference?
Her name was Carol, I think, or Christina, one of them. Anyway,
not me.
Whatever her name was, she was friends with Bronwyn, and then they, the producers were like, I said, one of your crew is talking to my ex-husband or something. Well, I told Bravo that you got to figure out who's telling the secret because this is crap. My lawyers kept sending me letters. Well, it turns out it was Bronwyn, and then it was my ex-husband's whatever she was.
But Bronwyn was so desperate for anything. She was all the things, right? She went.
Yeah, but my point is I think maybe that's why they won't have me back. Is because of that.
I personally the worst housewife.
So this is where because I didn't like her on the show, but then when I interviewed her for my podcast, we kind of bonded, and we're kind of like friends now. We're friends.
Bronwyn.
But she just didn't do well on the show. Fake. I mean, she has all these children. She still live in.
That's how I met
New
Elizabeth
York with a girlfriend.
No, she lives in Tennessee. We're like friends now. I'm gonna say. I mean, I'm not hedging.
You're friends with Bronwyn?
I'm not hedging Bronwyn. We're friends.
Yeah. Get canceled. Wait, I have my supermodels here that can sit in right here. My gentleman. Hello, gentlemen. What was your name? Adrian.
No, he's allowed to be friends with people too.
Brooke. And Joy. Well, I brought some just in case you fuck up today. I was just going to replace you with one of the supermodels. Energy. So now that you're friends with Bronwyn, we might have a problem.
But see, we're the same because I'm like the way with you with Kelly. I'm like, as long as you're good with me, I'm good with you.
Yeah.
But do you believe she's a good person? Like she left. I mean, how can you leave your children?
Well, yeah, I believe she's a good person.
You know, I'll tell you this. You want to talk about a user? I've never met somebody who uses more than she does, actually. And like, she literally, it was her first season. It was so funny. So she asked me to go to BravoCon with her. Like her and I had become friends actually. So, and
she didn't pay you at BravoCon, you said.
Well, she tried not to. She did pay me afterwards. But so anyway, so basically she asked me to go with her and I was working on a TV show doing makeup at the time. So I had to take time off of work, you know? And anyway, so we go, like, I meet her at the airport and like literally she didn't give me my itinerary until the day before. And like I get there, she had left her like her garment bag at the gate. I mean, at the counter. So I had to get her garment bag for her, take it with her. And as soon as I got there, she had booked herself a first class ticket. And then she had shoved me in a middle seat in the back, but never even gave me a chance because she gave me the itinerary the day before.
Oh, didn't give you a chance to upgrade or?
Yeah, nothing. But she was like, thank you. Okay, bye. And like everything she did the whole entire weekend. As soon as she saw
staff.
people from the cast.
You an assistant.
Whether it was like Emily. And I was like, girl, I ain't your little bitch. Okay.
She hadn't paid you at this time, so you were probably irritated.
Yeah, because if you owe me a bitch, you're
listen,
pay me.
I hadn't invoiced or anything. We had said we would talk about it later, basically. But they did end up paying me because I demanded to get paid from the whole trip. But I felt like she just thought that she was so like important all of a sudden. And as soon as she saw like Emily, Kelly, she would literally leave me in the dust. And then I was like, I didn't exist. But the next day when she needed something from me,
when she needed her extension put in her vagina, they were just hanging out everywhere.
Well, anyways, I have my opinions about her, but
lesbian.
We don't need to
I
get
feel
into
that's how all the housewives are, though, with few exceptions. You're an exception, but I have seen it. It's just all about them.
But you think about it,
In my
housewives aren't
experience.
real
Well, like, I was there
celebrities.
as her friend,
They're
though.
housewives.
And I was just happened to be doing her makeup.
Yeah, no, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not supporting this behavior.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, if you're, I mean, it's actually for me, it's kind of worse if you're taking a friend and you're a friend and you treat your friend like that.
I was going to
Yeah.
say.
Then it's worse. If I employed you to do my hair and makeup, then I have an entitlement because I've employed you. If I say, hey, come as a girlfriend, could you help me with my hair and makeup?
Yeah.
Then you should be treated definitely
Yeah.
not that you should treat anyone like that, but you should be treated a lot nicer.
For sure. Like I told you, I think we went to this like Facebook thing, but I actually went there in the morning just to do her makeup and I had like plans afterwards, right? But all the girls like ghosted her. Like nobody was writing her back. And all of a sudden she was left with nobody
Nobody really liked her.
to go to the Facebook event. And she was like, oh my God, can you come with me? And I was like, okay, I'm wearing like because I was going to go take a workout class. Okay. So I'm in like sneakers, leggings. And she was like, here, just wear my clothes. And I was like, okay. And of course she gave me all her ugly clothes. And I wasn't trying to be bitchy and annoying. And I was just like, fine, whatever. I mean,
That's
it's cool.
not a real friend either.
Yeah, I was like,
Your friends to be
okay.
hot.
Because she was using my friend who's a stylist at the time. So she had a lot of cute clothes with her. She just chose to give me whatever, like basically were like her regular, like.
She
I was
gave
like,
you her gym clothes.
Regular
Put that
clothes.
on.
This will do.
yeah. I mean, I literally was wearing leggings and these little boots that she had. I
And
mean,
you
I had-
like her.
I have gotten
So
to
do you have-
know
do
her
you-
as a person.
Okay.
But I do feel that most of these housewives go into that. I'm not, Bravo
Yeah.
Con is like on acid. That's the worst. But
for sure.
I feel like they all are in that mode, which is why we're going to remember, like, say you or you, and you're going to see me, not you. In like 5 years when you're on the Housewives, you'll be different.
Yeah.
You'll be different. You don't think you will.
Well, we'll ask them
I
back
say
and they'll be
I
like,
have-
yeah, no.
I had people on.
I do think people,
No offense to you, but I had people on like first season. I'll never change, and I'm like, look, you don't have to prove anything to me.
Yeah.
But then 5 years later, I'm like, you're not the same person. These are canned answers. You just get
Yeah.
swept up, and I think
Well,
the
because it's a
salaries
huge
are
brand.
high.
I mean, Bravo is, I never even knew those. Bravo is Bravo. When I became a housewife,
Huge.
it was insane. I was in London at the
Right.
Duran Duran concert.
I
I'm in
love
this
Duran
lobby.
Duran. I've seen them many
They're
times.
phenomenal, by the
I'm
way.
going to see them again.
Oh,
at
I love
Madison
them
Square
in London.
Garden.
They were just
Oh, you are?
wonderful.
Yeah.
God, they're awesome. Well, I go to
Duran
this
Duran
lobby.
is a band, you guys.
Yeah, you guys are the band back there. You like just start grabbing a
Well,
guitar.
no, I mean,
yeah, they
of a certain
don't know what
age,
Duran
people
Duran
probably
is.
don't know Duran
do you guys know who
Duran.
Duran Duran is?
You don't have to lie. You don't, and
He's
that's
like, I
okay.
think my granddad listened to them.
Wait, you're French.
He's like, I think I've
You're
heard of them
French.
on TV
It's a-
before.
You
Google
should
it.
know who Duran Duran is. They're very European.
My mom talked to me about
See?
Yeah.
Oh, his mom.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, see?
And you couldn't
Do you know
name
who Duran
one
Duran
song.
is?
I think I've heard of that.
Yeah.
I don't know the song.
None of you could name a song right now.
Kids
And that's
these
fine.
days-
I'm just
I mean,
making my points.
People these days don't know good music.
Who
Yeah.
do you listen to regularly? What's your favorite artist?
Post Malone.
Well, that's
Okay.
that's a great.
Well, you're
Yeah.
24 and you're
Post
21 and 21. 22.
25.
25.
Post
So you're
Malone.
like the older of the generation back there. So you're the next generation. Okay.
Yeah.
And I couldn't name one.
How
I'm
do you
like
feel about Post
antiquated.
Malone being all country now?
I'm for it.
Yeah, he's doing
Honestly, I'm
good,
for
right?
Yeah.
I like
I
it.
love his new album.
Yeah.
We're not going to be able to hear
Oh, I
you
love
very
the
well because it's a
country album.
podcast, but we'll see you talk really hot.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't even know what we were saying.
Well, oh, you looked at the models. You're like, I don't know what
He's
we're
like,
No,
oh,
saying.
no,
and
there
yes,
was-
I do like Bronwyn.
There was some point
You like
about
Bronwyn?
changing.
Oh.
About changing.
You know what? Here's the thing. I think if you spend one-on-one time with her, which I have many times, like she wasn't so bad. You know, I mean, like when she wasn't so worried about who to kiss ass to and where she was going to be going to or what she was looking like. I mean, she was more decent, I guess. But then I think fame ate her up and chewed her out. And she was trying to make herself be this person that she wasn't. And then it was like all of a sudden she had so many opinions and like it was just too much for me anyways.
No, I agree. And also, like, my relationship with her is like after the show. So it is different. Like, when it's over, for some people, it's over. And then they realize some people never get over it. They talk about it for the rest of their lives.
I do feel that I'm literally, my dislike for her is nothing to do with knowing her. I've only ever met her once. And it was
on the show.
I don't like her on the show. I just felt that it was too much. She was
pushed.
Gay. She was abused. She was doing drugs. She was an alcoholic. Her mum's
abused?
crazy. I probably made that one up.
I
But it
don't
got to the
remember.
point where it was every time she filmed, she had a new thing. It was a new thing that's happening.
I said horrible things about her on my podcast before I knew her. Really, I did.
Yeah.
See, I feel
Then
the
she
same
had that
way.
really big house that she was renting, and it's all everything was a facade.
See, that was all for show too, because I feel like
yeah.
they were living way beyond their means,
she
and
moved
I don't think they were trying to make themselves look like something they weren't. You know, it's like.
Do you remember there was the first episode she couldn't work the washing machine? I'm like, really?
I know. It's like,
really,
come on, you don't look cute trying to say that,
No, so for me, it was more of from watching, it was like, this is just so much. There's so much fakeness, and you can't relate. There's nothing there to relate to.
And you feel that you are, because we looked at each other when she was saying this, everyone's going to come and hate me after this episode and say, God, you were so mean to Elizabeth, but you feel that you are not being invited back because of your husband?
All of it. I think that, I was thrown into
think
COVID. I was thrown into this COVID episode where I couldn't really get to know everybody. My husband threatened lawsuits. We got Bronwyn, who they tried to make my friend. Granted, I licked pussy in high school. I don't claim I'm a lesbian now. I'm a non-practicing. I tried it.
I'm not.
But you did try to say you were bisexual on the reunion,
No, I
which
didn't
I
try to
disagree
say
with.
I
Also.
was at one point.
you did say it.
But I'm a non-practicing bisexual.
Okay.
I even said
what
it.
is that?
Exactly.
That's
That's
not even
see, that sounds
I'm not
so
like
confusing.
her.
Well, I'm
I
a
don't have to announce that I'm a
non-practicing straight
lesbo and I have all these
person. I mean-
girlfriends. You shouldn't have to announce that you're fucking a lesbian. You should just be a lesbian.
No,
I think it's
okay,
rude.
but you
I
should
think
just
it's
be.
bad for the culture. Go woke and go broke. You stop. Stop being so. I'm a lesbian. Lesbians don't sit there, just like trans people don't talk about how they go into women's female. Real trans people will go into a woman's bathroom and not mention it. It's like you don't even know they're trans. They don't want you to know. This whole movement of I'm a
We're mixing
lesbian,
a lot
I'm
of
this,
things
I'm
now.
that. It was fucking out there. So I kind of was like, well, I've licked bush. Does that make me part of you now? No. I didn't get along with her because I don't like how she's ruining the culture of if you are who you are, just accept it. You don't need to announce it on television. You've got girlfriends and you got 7 million kids and you are dissing your husband and your daughter has all these issues. It was so overwhelming for me that I thought it was terrible for the lesbian community. And I thought she was a horrible example of what lesbians are. That's why I don't like her.
But back to the reason why you think she's off the show. Is it because of your husband?
No, it is not because of her husband. I have my own feelings about this. I told you from the get-go. I felt like, look, when people view in the, people who are watching Housewives shows, they're big fans of it. They love to see a glammed up housewife. They want to see the whole look. They want to see your lifestyle. Granted, there are some people who come in and they don't necessarily have the lifestyle, but they have other stuff going on, right?
Gina with
Or
a
they
minivan
see
when she
a
first came.
transformation. I felt like if you had been a little bit more honest, kind of with your whole, I feel like you were kind of trying to channel too many things into that season too. This happened to you and that happened to you. And it's a little too much. And it's I agree. For a viewer watching it, they start to feel like you are being fake too. And you're not really giving them who you really are. I felt like if you'd actually just been more funny and showed this different side of you that I get to see as a person and that I don't think the viewers got to see. But I also do think that you're a very pretty girl, but you want it to look messy and tomboyish. And the housewife community, the fans, they don't want to see that.
No, they want the
and
glam.
if you had brought yourself looking more, I always said this to her, they want the glam. They made fun of Gina for seasons and I'm surprised the show kept her on because she didn't look good. But now that she's had this great transformation,
I agree with you.
It solidifies her to have this role.
But they also take regular people pretty much off the streets and say, hey, be in front of a camera, let me see your life. And I think the first season, maybe even 2 seasons, it's a lot of oh God, I don't know what I'm doing. And you're getting all these emails and everything's bothering you. And it's constant. So I think it takes 2 seasons for you to go, okay.
Well, plus I don't know them and I'm exposing my whole life. And there's things that should never have been on the show with my childhood. I was pissed.
But you chose to bring that on, right? So it was
because Bronwyn knew about my ex-husband. My ex-husband told her about it. She told the producers about it, and that's how it got on the show.
Yeah, we did talk about this
me.
when she was on the show.
But when you signed that contract, you signed
saying, life away.
My whole life is now public.
Yeah,
doesn't matter what you say I don't want on, because you're not only dealing with the editors. You're dealing with the women and then the fans. So,
and it was
The
a
fans
negative.
will
It was
find-
the
COVID.
fans will find anything. Yeah.
Yes.
It was a dark episode. It was a dark season. It was COVID. They're bringing up child traumas. They have Bronwyn, who was just all over the place. You had Kelly Dodd. I had Emily and Gina, I think. And Emily and Gina were great to me. That's why I remained friends with them. And I think I had Shannon. Shannon was on there too. But it was just a really rough season. And I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't have fun. Like I did kind of, but I thought I was going to go in there and drink alcohol and wear Spanx with Shannon. And it was nothing like that. We had to wear masks. I couldn't meet them. The girls were miserable. The production was miserable.
that's
All of us were
right.
like trying to
Yeah,
film
it
this
was
show
COVID.
and we were miserable.
You
Yeah,
had to have been
it was-
vaccinated, masks,
And the vaccine,
and then
every morning at
tests.
5 a.m., this little car would pull up in front of my house and stick a shit up my nose. I was
Yeah,
like,
but you
this
guys-
is insane.
You guys had a month and a half of filming before COVID started, okay? But so in that time,
Yeah.
I feel like there was still like, you should have brought the heat. And I also said this
Yeah,
to
I
Jen
agree.
Armstrong.
I was a horrible housewife.
Okay, I also said this to Jen Armstrong. Like
That's what she wants to
looked
hear.
the part, but she was boring.
She's
Yeah.
another one. She was on my show.
Who?
Jen Armstrong. Loved
She
her.
looked the part.
Loved
the
her.
Botox lady.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Botox lady.
Oh,
Loved
her
her.
husband bothered me. No shirt with that shitty little dog all the time.
Oh, I didn't watch it. I need to
Hey,
watch
dogs
that.
are not shitty.
Oh,
They're
God.
adorable. I like
But
that little
constantly,
dog.
no
Yeah.
clothes.
I like the
What
dog.
did he even do?
Yeah.
What was he called?
That's a little too
Ryan.
much. Ryan.
But he changed his name, right?
Ryan.
No,
or
his name
something.
is
Yeah,
Ryan.
Oh my God. Well, this girl talk is a lot of drama. And do you have any more? We're running out of
No,
time.
we
only
didn't
have an
even
hour.
get to like half of my questions. It's fine.
Do you have
This
any
is great.
questions that we need to talk about right now?
No, we really covered most of them. Shannon,
The grocery store alcohol incident.
Tam. Well, I mean
You being
that
fired.
was that you being fired
Yeah.
and
Me
Tamara
being
and Emily
fired,
and Gina had
Tamara.
a little bit of conflict lately.
Yeah.
You know,
We didn't even talk about Katie.
we like Katie. Do we know Katie?
I do. I know Katie. I'm friends
She's
with her.
cute.
Yeah. I like her a lot. I think
Which one's
she's
Katie?
the new girl on the show
Okay.
this season.
Do you like pedantry, Jennifer?
Oh, you know what? I've never met her. But I think she's having a better second season. I feel like the first season they really came for her again. But they're trying to come for her right now. And I think it's so rude what they're doing to her, like shaming her for money and all this stuff because.
She has a Rolex, but she can't pay the rent. That's okay. I'm not
Yeah.
judging.
That is very
Well,
different.
listen, I think
I'm okay with
what
that.
people need to realize though is that she does have a lot of kids and she is still going through a divorce. And so I think they're coming down on her too hard. And nobody really knows. I mean, like, give the girl a chance, like just because she's getting glam done doesn't mean that she is a bad person because her husband wasn't paying her bills. The husband's supposed to be paying them. But anyways.
Anything else we need to talk about, David?
No, but I'm gonna have to come back.
Yeah. Okay. So
Yeah.
today was an amazing episode. Jody, thank you so much for being
You're
here.
so
David, thank you so
welcome.
much
Thank
for
you.
being here. I did not expect this episode to be full-blown housewife.
I
Christine,
did.
You did?
Oh, I had a plan. Yeah,
We've never done this before. You like
Because
my models, David, I brought for you?
I'm okay with your models.
Yeah, I like it.
I think you need to do this more often.
I wanted to feel like I was on
Did
a
you
yacht.
do this
and then-
just for me?
Yeah, I did
Oh, thank
actually.
you.
I actually turned up thinking I was
okay
going
with
to talk about construction, but here we are talking about housewives.
Yes,
Next
Jody.
time.
Yeah, Jody's in construction, and exactly. So,
I love
but Christina and I have a little gift for you both for coming on the show today. We would normally ask a bunch of questions, but today was a different format. It's our first episode ever in the new studio. I mean, what'd you guys think?
Love.
You like
Beautiful.
it? You like
Yeah.
our crew back there?
Gorgeous.
Look at that. Look at that. Working hard, right?
Gorgeous.
So, and we got plenty of space now, so we're going to be able to have everybody back regularly. Christina's got her good side now.
We switched sides.
I'll sit here. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll just have you
I
back.
swivel in my chair.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
And
apologize.
you're still-
Physically as well.
yeah,
You're still commuting
Yeah.
back and forth from New York, right?
yeah, but
we can-
I'll be back. I mean, I'm here.
Okay, well,
I'm here.
here's a little
We need
gift.
to do a trip to New York.
Yeah, you guys have to do a trip to New York.
I want to go in December.
Yeah, we want to come to
Maybe
New
we
York.
can do New York and then the castle in Scotland.
Oh
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
know what? I
Emily
keep
and
trying to
Gina
get
are
people to
getting
go to this
free
castle, Skibo
trips.
Castle.
Like, where's our
Right?
free
Where's
trip?
ours?
And by the way, I
Elizabeth?
got Tiffany's last time I was here too. So I mean,
I know.
this is not a. This is
very-
not
You know,
a
when you come
bad-
on my show,
I'm very
everybody gets a
excited.
Tiffany. You know,
when you come on behind
look
the
at how
velvet
cute
rope.
that is. Oh my God, I
Oprah
gotta take a
gives
picture.
out cars, but I mean, this
When
is
you-
perfect.
Yes,
Yeah, this
cheers.
is gorgeous.
Hello.
Thank you.
So thank you again for being a part of Girl Talk. I love you, David. I love you, Jody.
you.
Christina, you're amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode of Girl Talk. If you want the tea on Orange County, tune in today. Like, follow, subscribe, and support us on Patreon. Peace, love, and happiness.
Bye.
Bye.